What if one carefully supervised dose could lower your anxiety for months without daily pills?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, and today we're examining new clinical evidence on MM120, a pharmaceutical form of LSD, and what it may mean for generalized anxiety disorder.
I'm Alara Skye. We'll lay out the Phase 2b trial design, the dose that worked best, how long the benefits lasted, safety details, current legality, and practical breathing strategies you can use right now while this research moves forward.
The headline finding is straightforward. In a multi-center, double-blind, placebo-controlled Phase 2b study of adults with moderate to severe generalized anxiety disorder, a single 100 microgram dose of M12 produced significant reductions in anxiety with effects that persisted to week 12. Researchers reported a clinical response in about 65% at this dose and remission in 47.5%.
To put the trial in context, this follows earlier Phase 1 work on MM120 and FDA permission to proceed to Phase 2 testing. The Phase 2b study enrolled 198 participants aged 18 to 74 across 22 U.S. outpatient research sites. Everyone met the threshold for moderate to severe anxiety on the Hamilton Anxiety Rating Scale, or HAM-A, with scores of 20 or higher at baseline.
Participants were randomized to one of 5 arms, placebo or MM120 at 25, 50, 100, or 200 micrograms. The primary endpoint was change in HAM-A score at 4 weeks, where a 2.5-point drop is considered clinically meaningful. Response was defined as a 50% or greater reduction, remission as a HAM-A score of 7 or less.
Results favored the 100 microgram group. Mean HAM-A reduction at week 4 was minus 20.1 points compared with minus 15.4 for placebo. About 65% met response criteria and 47.5% met remission at this dose, with benefits sustained through week 12. Lower doses of 25 and 50 micrograms were not meaningfully different from placebo, and 200 micrograms had less favorable tolerability without better durability.
It's important to note how the time course looked. Placebo effects were present, but the 100 microgram dose separated on both magnitude and persistence. The 200 microgram arm showed reductions, but did not improve on the overall balance of benefit and side effects. The dosing sweet spot was 100 micrograms based on both symptom relief and sustained effect.
Safety was closely monitored. Most side effects occurred on dosing day under supervision and resolved before discharge. At 100 and 200 micrograms, visual changes such as illusions or hallucinations were common. Euphoria was reported by a subset of participants. Nausea was frequent, especially at the higher doses. 2 people felt severely intoxicated during the session, which resolved the same day.
There was one serious adverse event recorded, a panic attack 97 days later in a participant from the 50 microgram group, which investigators assessed as unrelated to MM120. The trial reported no suicides, self-harm behaviors, or severe psychiatric destabilizations. The protocol included careful screening and approximately 12 hours of continuous monitoring with support staff.
A key design choice was to separate the drug effect from psychotherapy. Unlike many psychedelic protocols, this trial did not pair MM120 with active psychotherapy during the dosing session. Participants were supported for safety and comfort, allowing researchers to evaluate the pharmacologic impact more directly.
How does MM120 compare with other options? Ketamine, which is FDA approved for treatment-resistant depression, can act quickly but often requires repeated dosing as benefits fade. Psilocybin has shown long-lasting effects in depression studies, but anxiety-specific research remains more limited. Conventional therapies like SSRIs are first line for generalized anxiety disorder, yet lack of efficacy and adverse effects can lead to non-adherence. while benzodiazepines carry risks of tolerance, dependence, and misuse.
Expectations should remain measured. This was a Phase 2b study with 12 weeks of follow-up and exclusions for more complex medical or psychiatric profiles. The next step is larger Phase 3 trials to confirm efficacy and safety. Current timelines point to Phase 3 readouts in 2026, which means no immediate changes to clinical availability.
Legally, LSD remains a schedule. A controlled substance in the United States. That classification means no accepted medical use under federal law and significant penalties for possession or use outside authorized research. Access to MM120 is limited to approved clinical trials at this time.
While this research progresses, you do have natural techniques to help regulate anxiety. The article highlights 4 breathing strategies. First, breathe through your nose to support better gas exchange and a calmer nervous system. Second, practice horizontal breathing by widening your ribcage outward instead of lifting the chest. Third, breathe more gently rather than more often to preserve a healthy oxygen-carbon dioxide balance. Fourth, make controlled breathing a habit using methods such as alternate nostril breathing or the Buteyko approach to engage your parasympathetic system over time.
A common question is whether a single dose can really provide months of relief. In this study, the 100 microgram group showed benefits sustained to week 12. Another question is dose selection. Across 25, 50, 100, and 200 micrograms. 100 micrograms produced the strongest combination of symptom reduction and durability with manageable side effects, whereas 200 micrograms did not improve the benefit-risk balance.
People also ask about risk of worsening anxiety. Paradoxical reactions are possible, and careful screening and supervision are vital. The outlier panic event in the 50 microgram group was deemed unrelated, but it underscores the need for controlled settings and trained staff during trials.
For anyone comparing MM120 to psilocybin or ketamine for anxiety, the distinguishing feature here is durability after a single administration in this generalized anxiety sample, with no psychotherapy incorporated into dosing. Access is the limiting factor today. Unlike ketamine, MM120 is not available as a treatment outside trials.
If you're evaluating next steps, keep the main takeaways front and center. 100 micrograms produced the most robust and sustained response in this study. Side effects were largely acute and manageable under supervision, and legal access remains restricted to clinical research while Phase 3 trials proceed.
Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, practice nasal, horizontal, gentle, and controlled breathing for 5 minutes twice daily, morning and evening, and note your anxiety level before and after each session. Consistency gives you a direct read on how these techniques affect you. Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.